Well, that's a great thing, is to kind of acknowledge it, isn't it? And like you say, it does depend a little bit on where you are on that spectrum, as to how you're going to approach it, because it's an addiction. So if we think about the alcohol analogy again, so what would we say to someone who's completely lost control of their relationship with alcohol? We wouldn't say, "Oh, just have a moderate amount," because that's just hilarious, because obviously if they could have a moderate amount, they would they would have a moderate amount. They've lost control of their relationship, so they can't do that. So the treatment is abstinence, and we all know that. People go to Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's all completely accepted that abstinence is the model. So um, ultimately, if you have lost control of your relationship with certain foods, then abstinence is the way. How you get there is, can be completely down to you. Now, I did the big cold turkey thing because that's my personality. I can't be doing with this, like, if that's the answer, I'm going to jump in first, feet first. So you can do that, but I would say it's, it's quite it's quite a cold bath. um, and because sugar and those processed foods do affect our brain chemistry, you can feel pretty rough. So if you're already, you know, having troubles with depression or panic attacks or whatever, maybe not jumping in with both feet. Also, if you're on medication for diabetes or for high blood pressure, don't just jump in and quit all the sugars without doing that with some medical supervision, because your medication will need adjusting. So if you're on blood pressure medication, you're probably going to need to get that tapered down because your blood pressure will improve. And if you're on either insulin or SGLT2 inhibitors for your diabetes, again, those are going to need coming down, because otherwise, if you're not eating sugar and you're taking tablets to lower your blood sugar, you are at risk of going way too low, which can be dangerous. So that's a little caveat. But if you're not on any medication and you feel up to it, then you could think about going cold turkey. Otherwise, I think it's about eliminating, stepwise, the worst culprits, if you can do it. But some people with addiction can't do the stepwise thing because they're because they're addicts. So they do need to ultimately go cold turkey to break it. And then obviously then it's about staying stopped. What strategies you're putting in place, what support you've got to keep going, even in the face of, like you say, all the stuff that comes up everywhere you go. People are putting it under your nose and saying, just have a little bit, or it's your birthday. Or, I mean, we'd never do that. If we knew someone was an alcoholic, we'd never say, "Oh, just have a whiskey because it's your birthday." But they'll do it even if we say to people, "No, I can't." I can't. I often used to say to people, I can't have that, because if I have one, I just, it's just not possible for me to have that and then not go into some sort of a spiral. So thank you very much. But I won't be having it. But they continue to offer it. So yeah. So yeah, so try, obviously abstinence is the key. There are lots of online communities now and people that can help you. There's some resources in the back of the book if people want, pointing to there's some great teams, particularly in the States. There's some guys called Sweet Sobriety. There's another group called SugarX Global, and they will give you the support, the advice. They've got online communities where you can go to meetings and stuff. Of course, there's Overeaters Anonymous as well, which is available free to everybody, where you can get some support. It's really nice to meet other people who've got this same problem, because we don't always come across them in our daily lives. So it's really nice to be as part of a group and not feel a complete freak. It's actually, there are other people with this condition, and they'll sort of support you through it. Yeah, real food. I've talked about real food a lot, so I talk a lot about that. Real food is nature intended, good for the brain. Meat, fish, eggs, green veg, that sort of thing. Fantastic for the brain and the body. And your brain chemistry will take a little while to rebalance, because you've been getting your dopamine, your serotonin, your endorphins, your oxytocin, all of that good stuff you've been getting from weird high levels from these processed foods. So what goes up must come down. So you prepare to feel a little bit grim, but then focus on getting those things, building your life back up to get those, get your brain mended, get your neurotransmitters mended. Exercise is fantastic, even if it's just a walk every day, and sort of commit to a walk every day in the daylight if you can. That's going to really help dopamine, endorphins, serotonin. Other things that are great are like, yoga, any sort of hobby where you're, really going to enjoy something creative. There's all I'm a big knitter, so I do a lot of knitting, which I enjoy. But it's just finding something, because you're going to have a lot more time on your hands. Finding something that's going to bring those sort of mental benefits, that you've been emotionally relying on the food to to get that, whatever it is that the food's been providing, whether it's comfort, stress relief, distraction. Are we bored? Are you bored? Are you angry? Are you lonely? What's going on? Are you tired? Are you stressed? And we've been using food as therapy, basically, instead of what it should be, which is nutrition. If we need some therapy, let's get some therapy. Or as I say, broaden what we're doing in our lives back out again. So the main thing to say to people is absolutely not, it's not our fault. We were kind of wired this way and hijacked by the food industry. It's not our fault any more than it's someone. Nobody chooses to be alcoholic or a food addict. It's the interaction of our rather special brains with this crazy modern environment that we live in. But once you've got the information and the support, it is possible to to retrain the brain. That's what we have to understand, is what's going on in the brain, so we can retrain it and reclaim our lives, basically. Because it's a road to, that's why I call the book Fork in the Road, because it's it is a road to nowhere. It's not a great choice to carry on with those behaviors, and we will all slip up, but it's how you deal with those slip-ups and lapses and what you learn. It's important to learn from what was going on and what can I do differently next time. Get back on up as fast as you can onto the real food, and just go on. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah.